Good evening. It is January 28th evening for me where I'm at. Uh, and I'm making good on my intention to record at least one video a week. Um, I just got out of my Sophia Code group, small group of five of us going through this process. Uh, they're always great. They're always great. If you've been through it, you know. Um, I figured as I sat here thinking, well, what am I going to talk about today? There are so many things I could talk about, and I might ramble. I might, because I got a tendency to do that. But I thought I would talk about something that came up in this group that seemed to have an impact. Uh, I was talking about higher selves, and that I sort of have an issue with the term higher self. For me, that term seems to create separation. Higher self is something, it's me, but it's not me. We know that our higher selves are us in a more evolved state, in a greater dimension of being, however you want to put this. But it's still you. On a human level, though, it's really hard. It's hard for me to, with those terms, higher self, it's hard for me to remember it's me. I was telling this group of mine earlier over the weekend, maybe I'm going to start using the term greater me because greater me is less separating. Greater me, the me that is existing in those higher planes, who has the greater perspective. So I got talking about the higher self. And somehow I got onto the topic of the higher self is the one that writes the life plan. You sort of have to understand how this works. Greater me, higher self, has free will to write a life plan for the incarnation. And it supposedly writes every detail. Uh, in discussing this with Will and Allison, who often will channel and ask questions like this. How does this work? Where does free will come in? Doesn't feel like we have free will down here on the planet. So they get clarity about these things. And the clarity was that greater you, higher self, has the free will to write any life plan that it wants for the incarnation. Now, until the body can house the higher self, all of you, greater you has to sort of remain outside of the physical experience. Only part of you, a small part of you, can be down here in the body. Otherwise, you short circuit the body. And the part of you that is here has the job of being the observer, of being the one who walks through the life plan that greater you created. When I explained that, and I also explained that, human you, the part of you that's here walking through the life plan, witnessing the experiences that greater you planned for yourself. You do have a little bit of free will, but I likened it to bumper bowling. You got to stay in the lane. The life plan is the life plan, and there's some variance of how you walk it, but you have to stay within the bumpers. Now you might come to a point where you have a choice to make. Do you choose this path or this path? Maybe you have two job offers. Maybe you have two choices of where to move. You got to make a choice. You do have that kind of free will. You can choose that one thing or the other, but you have to make a choice. That's part of the life plan. Now, if you choose, we'll say job B, it may take you in a trajectory that goes off this way. People sometimes say, well, isn't that getting out of the life plan? No. Again, Allison and Will channeling. Allison asked this question at one time. Is everything scripted? The result of every choice, the paths, all the paths of every choice. Yes. And I didn't hear the collective say this, but she joked and she said, the collective said right down to every sneeze. That got me thinking. It helped me understand this, the way things work, the part of me that's here as the observer, the part of me that is walking through this life plan, the part of me that agreed to this life plan. No, I don't have entire free will down here. I can't rewrite the plan. I can send feedback to my higher self, to greater me, who perhaps has some capacity to inject things. Don't know about that. But me that's here, the observer, the witness, has to walk the path that greater me created. Now, when we talked about this, it was interesting the way the group sort of responded to this. There were comments about it being freeing. And I think this is the great wisdom that comes out of this. You have to trust. Well, you don't have to do anything. Let's be clear. You don't have to do anything. But I think it is logical. You know yourself. You would not have put yourself in any situation for an ungood reason. There would have been a good reason for everything that you planned out for yourself. Greater you, the one with the greater vision, the greater perspective, the big picture, who's already at that capacity of unconditional love, is writing a script for you for this lifetime that provides all kinds of feedback and amazing insight for a good reason. You don't have to control it. You are not responsible for making choices that might be judged by anyone else. Greater you set you on this course. All you have to do is pick with your heart, is to walk it with your heart. It's easy for me to trust that greater me has my best interest. There have been a few times in conversations with people over the years, and we've all been there. I've been there. I've been in life situations where I'm like, what is the meaning of this? How did I get into this experience? Why? Why am I experiencing this? How do I get myself out? I have to trust that greater me, and this is the joke about it. I can tell now. I know, I know I did not fuck myself. This is what I say to people. I trust I wrote an amazing, unbelievable script for this lifetime. I trust that I did, because that's the kind of person I am. Even the part of me that is here in this life, human, beautifully imperfect, I have to trust I wouldn't have fucked myself. That's that's the joke about it. That's what I tell people who find themselves in these situations. I know you would not have fucked yourself. You just wouldn't have. Greater you has such a tremendous sense of love, and it would not have scripted things you are not capable of witnessing and walking through. So trust, trust. There's nothing to do here. There's only to walk through it with love. Open your heart, love the path. When challenging things, when a hurdle, when you approach a hurdle, you're like, bleep, 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 bleep. Okay, lots of expletives. I don't need to say them all. Here's another friggin' hurdle. What what is it? Why? Why did I determine that a hurdle was necessary right now? It no longer becomes this, what am I doing wrong? It's not a question of where did I go wrong in my thinking? Where did I not plan well enough? Why did I not align with better people? That that's out of your control. This lifetime was given. You agreed to it. You're like, heck yeah, I can do this. I can witness this. I can walk this. Now, getting down here and doing it is a whole other thing. We all know that it's a lot harder. It's a lot harder because you're cut off from this knowledge. You're cut off from remembering. Most of us are cut off from remembering. This is how it works. From remembering that this greater part of you, imagine right now if you were to take a part of yourself and say, okay, I'm going to take this smaller part of me, just a part of me, and I'm going to cast it into this scenario. I'm going to write every single detail of the script with love. You're not going to torture that poor soul, that part of you. You're not going to annihilate it. Completely illogical. I suppose if you wanted that experience of what it feels like to annihilate part of yourself, well, you might do that. But that part of yourself would have to agree to that experience as well. You would, you would write a beautiful script for that aspect of yourself. You would, you would know that yes, there will be hurdles. That's the point of doing it. I want to test. This is why we do obstacle courses, why we run marathons, why we take advanced placement courses in school. We're testing. We're seeing what kind of metal we're made of. This is what we do. Higher self, greater you, loves you to death, loves you. You are an aspect of your greater beingness. You would not have fucked yourself. So no matter what you witness or endure or whatever you're walking through right now or have walked through in the past, you believe you're made of some badass metal. You believe that. Trust, 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 trust. Be free of all the responsibility you have felt up to this point. Be free of it. that you needed to control your life, dictate things, manipulate to make this happen or that happen, align yourself falsely to survive. You don't have to do any of that. Get back into love. Connect with this greater part of yourself, whatever you want to call it. Greater me, higher self. Connect with that part of you that loves you unbelievably, loves you, loves you. Open your heart to that part of you, and just for the rest of your life, walk in love through this plan that you agreed to. Walk it. No matter what happens, keep your heart open, stay in love. Okay, that's my message for today. I am still working on this other video. It's taking longer than I thought. I'm kind of busy right now, not making excuses, but I have to generate a lot of AI images sort of to fill up this time. It's about a 30-minute video. It basically talks about the Divine Mother and why she was intentionally removed from our cultural collective awareness, and what the impact is upon us. Takes a lot of images for this. I'm not going to sit and basically read the script to you. I, it's more fun to look at pretty pictures while you're listening to it. It's not the perfect script. It's not perfect yet, but it's my first attempt at this, and I'm hoping I will get it done here within the next few days, and then that will be posted as well. But I'm going to keep with this. I'm going to try to keep with this, a video every Wednesday. I'll have something to say. I've got tons of other things I could say about what's going on with Sophia Code, my own personal experience with this. Once again, I mean, every time you go through it, it's a whole new experience. You peel the layers of the onion every single time. And it's amazing how the stories, the initiations, I never remember them from the previous time I did them. And they hit me in completely new ways every time I do them. I'm having an amazing experience. For those of you who've been through this, keep doing it. I've gotten to this point where I can't explain to people anymore because they can't relate. Unless you've had the same experience. There are maybe a couple people that I know who have gotten this far with it. But I am starting to understand. I'm starting to understand. To say how it works would be simplistic. It's not something that works or doesn't works. It is the way. That is the best way to put it. Mother Mary talks about this in her chapter. This is the chapter now we start tomorrow. Mother Mary, she talks about the way. It's probably the best way to describe it. Peace, joy, serenity, absolute love. Love. It is a completely different way of being present in body. How do you even say this to people who haven't experienced this? Once you start moving along this path, you start to see it. It's very subtle, subtle little things. You go, aha, that is subtle, but it changes the way I look at things. Every step on this path, that's what it is. That's all it is. It's, that is subtle. but it changes the way I look at everything. It's amazing how subtle these shifts are, and it creates a completely different way of living your life. Completely different. I'm not afraid, but this is how we say it. I'm afraid no one can relate to me anymore. I can think of one person who might be able to. I can't even talk about it. This is why I'm saying this on the internet, because there are probably more people out there who may, by the grace of God, find this video and listen to this point to say, "Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about." It would seem fantastical to anyone else. And many people would probably tell me or think that I must have my head in the sand, because how can you be in this world and not be angry or frustrated or depressed or whatever? Those are experiences I'm not having. I don't live like that anymore. I don't know how I'm going to talk about that going forward, but that's the experience I'm having now. And I'm going to keep going. I'm going to keep going down that path. All right. That's it for today. Um, maybe that wasn't valuable. Hopefully it was valuable. I'll get better. I'll get better at this. And one of these days I'm going to clean up that table behind me. All right. There you go. Have a good night.